Jim Jones didn't just get cheated on, he got exposed in court, on video, in front of everyone. One minute he was composed, sitting confidently, then Camron handed over a USB, and the screen lit up with footage no one expected. Chrissy, in heels and a hoodie, walked into a hotel with another man. She laughed, whispered things no one had ever heard before, saying, "Let him stay clueless." Jim didn't speak. He didn't even blink. It was like he was watching the death of everything he believed. The room froze. Mama Jones sat stiff. Camron had a smug look like he had waited years for that moment. This wasn't an accident. It was planned. Chrissy knew the Camron era was on. So now people are wondering, was any of it real? Or just a setup from the start? What started with a USB ended with Jim collapsed in a courtroom chair, shaking, completely broken. The footage wasn't blurry or unclear. It was high quality, time-stamped, and filmed like it was made for this exact moment. At 9:13 p.m., Chrissy pulled her hoodie up outside the Moran Hotel in Soho, looking around nervously. The man who opened the door wasn't Jim, it was Reggie. Fans had heard rumors for months, and this confirmed them. Chrissy had claimed Reggie was just a friend. The video said otherwise. Camron passed the USB to the court clerk, and everything shifted. Jim sat straighter, like part of him already knew, but watching it hit different. Chrissy walked into that room, turned back, and whispered on the phone, "Jim still thinks I'm at my cousin's. He's so dumb." That line made the tension in the room snap. Camron leaned back, satisfied. Jim looked like his soul left his body. He collapsed, one hand to his chest, barely breathing. The courtroom erupted. Security rushed in. EMTs followed. Chrissy didn't move, like she had seen it all before. Camron didn't even blink. And that was only the first 37 seconds of the video. The next part crushed everything people thought was real. Inside the room, wine, 2 glasses, soft music. Chrissy laughed, saying, "This is where I breathe. With you, I don't feel trapped in someone else's life." That line hit hard. Just last year, Jim said on multiple podcasts that Chrissy was his everything, his oxygen. Now she was saying she felt suffocated. Sources claim Chrissy knew about the Camron era. The suite belonged to a friend of Reggie's who always recorded things. But Chrissy didn't expect the footage to land in Camron's hands. Some say Camron had someone on the inside. Others believe Reggie gave it up after Chrissy ghosted him. Either way, Camron had proof. And not just any proof, clean, direct, impossible to deny. Court records show Camron submitted the USB as part of a defamation countersuit, saying Jim had spread lies about him in a VH1 meeting back in 2022. But this wasn't really about the lawsuit. It was personal. Camron didn't just expose Chrissy. He made sure Jim's mom was there to see it. When Jim hit the floor, Mama Jones jumped up so fast that security had to hold her back. She yelled at Chrissy, "You lied to my son!" Outside, she paced the sidewalk, screaming into her phone. "I told Jim she'd ruin him." Back inside, the judge paused everything for an hour while medics checked Jim. It wasn't a heart attack, just trauma. Online, things exploded. The internet didn't hold back. One meme showed Jim's face on a hotel bed with the caption, "Folded like those hotel sheets." Another had Camron grinning like a villain, holding the USB like it was a trophy. But this wasn't just about cheating. The video hinted at something bigger. The DA stopped the trial again after hearing a line from Chrissy. "Reggie helped me clean that mess up. I told them it was a donation." That line raised red flags. Chrissy was already being looked into for charity fraud, and now this suggested possible cover-up. Her relationship drama had turned into a legal nightmare, and Camron wasn't finished. As the judge called for a break, Camron stood, looked at Jim, and said, "I told you she wasn't loyal. Now you have what you need to move on." Jim didn't reply. He didn't move. Chrissy leaned over to her lawyer and whispered something. A courtroom lip reader said she told her attorney, "Say I was drunk. That video's taken out of context." Out of context? The footage had clear sound, perfect video, and multiple angles. That excuse wasn't going to work. And that was just the beginning. When the court reconvened, Camron's lawyer stood and said, "We have more footage and an audio file." The room went silent. Chrissy turned pale. Jim stayed still. Mama Jones had to be physically held back from returning. The judge asked what it was. Calmly, Camron's lawyer said it was a voicemail from Chrissy to Mona Scott, left 3 weeks before the hotel video. Now it wasn't just a cheating scandal, it looked like a full cover-up. The voicemail played. Chrissy's voice said clearly, "Mona, if Jim finds out, the season's ruined. Camron can't know either. I need you to take care of that hotel footage." Reggie said it was deleted. You promised me. Boom. That changed everything. This wasn't just betrayal, it was a planned operation. She tried to bury the footage. Chrissy's lawyer jumped up, trying to stop it, but the damage was done. Camron wasn't smiling anymore, he was focused. That voicemail confirmed Chrissy cheated and knew she'd get caught. She tried to hide it with help from the top, maybe even interfering with an investigation. Even the court officers looked shocked. Jim finally lifted his head. His eyes were empty. He stared at Chrissy like he didn't even know who she was anymore, like the woman he stood by, fought for, cried over, was just a stranger in his life. And then the second video started to play. This one wasn't from the hotel. It Camron from a production trailer on the set of Love and Hip Hop New York, filmed. Months earlier, secretly leaked by someone in the crew. The clip showed Chrissy talking with Yandy during a break, and time between scenes. The two were mid-conversation, unaware someone had hit record on a nearby Camronera left running. Chrissy leaned in, whispering, "I'm only here 'cause I promised Mona I'd give it one more season. After this, I'm done pretending." Yandy looked shocked and asked, "Pretending what?" Chrissy shrugged, then replied, "That Jim and I are still anything. We've been done. I just didn't say it out loud yet." Fans were switching sides fast. Chrissy's name started trending alongside phrases like "set up queen" and "Judas." Mama Jones finally got past security and charged down the hallway outside the courtroom. TMZ Camroneras were rolling as she yelled, "That woman ruined my son's life. She's a snake and I want VH1 to burn with her." Security rushed in, but the moment was already out there. It exploded online. One TikTok stitched her meltdown with an old hotel clip, captioned, "When your mom was right the whole time." Inside the courtroom, things were getting worse. After a new audio clip played, Camron's lawyer stood up holding printed emails and screenshots. He gave them to the judge, saying they showed Chrissy asking for footage to be deleted from a private server connected to Mona Scott's cloud. The courtroom fell silent. The judge read the message aloud. It said, "I need that room wiped by Monday. If it gets out, Jim won't recover. Neither will the show. Tell Reggie to keep quiet." This wasn't just cheating anymore. It looked like manipulation and media cover-up. Jim stood up, visibly shaking, and asked Chrissy one question. Was any of it real? She didn't answer. She just looked down. That silence said more than any confession could. Camron didn't react. He already knew he'd won. This wasn't just personal, it was strategic. The judge paused the hearing again, not because of outbursts, but because VH1's legal team now wanted to speak. A sweaty representative in a gray suit claimed some footage was unlawfully obtained, and its release might break confidentiality agreements. In simple terms, they were panicking. Camron had torn apart their big couple, exposed behind-the-scenes manipulation, and shattered the show's image. But the judge didn't care about saving TV deals. He asked Chrissy directly if she'd tried to influence the case through media. Tricks. Her lawyer objected, but the judge kept pushing. Then her voice broke. "I didn't mean for it to go this far," she said. "I was scared of what? Losing Jim? Getting exposed? Watching it all fall apart?" Too late. The court had one more twist. Camron's team had subpoenaed text logs from Reggie's burner phone. One message to a friend read, "She played me too. Said she'd leave him. Now I'm the villain and Camron got the drop. I should have released the rest of the clips. She begged me not to." That meant there was more footage. By the end of the day, Jim walked out alone. No Chrissy, no Mona, no protection, just him. A man betrayed in public. A reporter asked Camron outside, "Do you think Jim deserved this?" Camron looked straight into the Camronera and said, "No, but sometimes the truth doesn't care who it breaks." And with that, he left. Camron walked out undefeated. The next day, the footage was everywhere, set to sad music, slowed down, turned into memes. Jim's shocked, broken face became a symbol of heartbreak. The internet wasn't buying excuses. This was an exposed plot. Fans dug up old clips and tweets, spotting signs they missed. One old line from Mama Jones, "You don't love my son, you love the Camronera," went viral. Meanwhile, Camron's legal team filed an emergency motion. Reggie, Chrissy's secret fling, used to work in post-production and had access to footage and editing. This sparked a possible fraud case against producers for tampering with storylines. Sponsors pulled out, production paused, and even Mona Scott unfollowed Chrissy. Jim's lawyer sued Chrissy for emotional and financial damage, losses estimated at $2.3 million. Chrissy's ex, Marcus, exposed her as using Jim for fame, sparking Chrissy the Architect to trend. Camron dropped a teaser. "You saw the courtroom, now see the full truth." It hit 5 million views in hours. Mama Jones went live, furious, while Chrissy posted silence. New court evidence from Olivia Longot suggested Chrissy planned the whole thing. VH1 tried to block the footage, but it was too late. Camron claimed the story was his now. Jim withdrew for mental health reasons. The show was canceled, lawsuits flying, the drama wasn't over. Subscribe for more updates on this explosive story.